ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a musical from 2007. That movie is Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Now, there is a very long legacy about this film, you see, because this movie was made in 2007. It is based on a musical from the 70s. That musical is based on an old British penny fucking novel from the mid-1800s. A story that has been made into numerous films in the past, and I've actually seen one of those movies. I saw the Sweeney Todd film from 1936. I saw that one like 10 years ago, 15 maybe even 20 years ago. The one thing that I happen to remember about it is that the story was incredibly, the story, I'm just going to be straight up, was incredibly stupid. Now, I don't know if they fixed the story here. I don't know if the songs are going to help this kind of stupid story. I have no idea. I just know that going into this, I'm not the biggest fan of Sweeney Todd, and that's because I've seen the only other incredibly popular movie based on this story, and I didn't like it. This thing could, though, very, very well be, good. It seriously could, and the only way I'm going to find out if this thing is any good at all is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Well, guys, I can tell you this much: I am not liking the songs in this movie. That's probably because the lyrics are very, very fucking clumsily, written, and also the fact that the happy and peppy key which all these songs are being done in does not match the dark look of the movie, and it's really kind of killing any and all mood this fucking movie is trying desperately to build. I'm certainly hoping that it gets better, but so far it's not good. Okay, so when the songs are just very, very clumsily written, they just kind of suck in fucking general. This song, guys, okay, yes, it sounds fucking powerful and sweeping, but the singer really fucking sucks, and it's ruining any chance this song has of being any good. It's actually kind of sad. Guys, I would probably be able to tolerate Sacha fucking Baron, Cohen's character more if it wasn't the exact same goddamn character he played in fucking Talladega Nights. There is absolutely zero change between his character there and his character here. And naturally, as many of you know, I am not, a fan of his, and the very fact that he has to rehash one of his shittier characters for this thing just feels... It just, certainly, guys, is making a movie which kind of sucks, and is making it worse because I fear I'm going to have to put up, with him for quite a while in this fucking movie. Okay, so I guess I'm not going to have to put up with Cohen's, bullshit. And also, guys, as soon then as I mentioned that he is playing the same idiotic character he was in fucking Talladega Nights, he then immediately dropped, the accents, so all of a sudden now I feel kind of foolish. But at least now his character's dead, thank fuck for that. Guys, I was really hoping for this movie to be good and to be kind of fun, but so far, as you guys can probably tell, I am incredibly bored with almost everything which is going on here. I am hoping for the second hour to pick up and get better, but right now I'm kind of sort of doubting that. I really cannot believe this, guys. This movie is getting more and more boring and dull with every passing scene, and it's really starting to suck because I really wanted to like this thing, guys. I really did, and the thing is just letting me down again and again, and frankly, at this point, I cannot wait for the movie to end. Do you guys want to know the worst part, though, about all of this? is the fact that these songs are complete shit, yet every single person singing it has proven to me that they can fucking sing. And this movie would probably have been infinitely better if we had better goddamn songs. Unfortunately, it is those terrible songs which are killing this fucking movie for me, guys. Well, guys, that was Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Let's shut that off. Good Lord. Okay. I'm gonna hit on all of the positives right now. All right. The acting in this movie was really solid. It honestly was. The singing in this movie was genuinely good from everybody, including people I didn't even know who could sing. I did not know, guys, that Alan fucking Rickman could sing. I learned that today. I didn't know that Sacha Baron Cohen could sing while putting on one of his idiotic voices. I learned that today. The singing in this thing is absolutely amazing. The camera work here, and guys, the camera work, the lighting, the sets, special effects, everything here is fantastic. Except for the writing. Yeah, guys, everything here is fantastic, and I would praise everything this movie has to offer. But then we get to the writing. And the writing is where this thing falls to pieces. I have to mention before I go any further, I had no idea going in that this was based on a musical from Stephen fucking Sondheim. I didn't know who made the Sweeney Todd musical. I didn't know that it was Sondheim. And I do have to mention I'm not a fan of Sondheim's musicals. I have seen a few of them. I haven't liked any of them. So this thing, guys, very, very early on, I was sort of filled with a little bit of dread. But I still had hopes. I had hopes that maybe I had found the one, I had hoped that I had found the one Sondheim musical I could really get into. And unfortunately, it doesn't work. The first couple of songs are written in such a piss-poor manner that I basically was turned off right then and there. Guys, there is a rule with music, and that is your lyrics have to in some way match the music playing in the background. And that didn't happen in the first couple of songs. Because in the first couple of songs, you would have them singing along fine, and then they would suddenly rocket through about fucking like 2 lines worth of lyrics in the friggin' space of one. They barely follow the pace, and it is because they are trying to jam you full of backstory. Because they're trying to jam you full of backstory and exposition and everything else. And they do it by, instead of just making the songs a little bit, longer and actually trying to make them sound like halfway decent, they were trying to clumsily shoehorn in as much as possible in as little time as possible, and it makes the songs sound horrible. Now on top of all of that, I am going to say this: I absolutely love the way that Burton made this thing look, and Tim Burton made a classic Tim Burton dark film, and with this story it works. With this music it doesn't, because this music is, well, most of it is just so just so upbeat and bubbly that it almost sounds like it'd be too happy and too peppy for the motherfucking music man. And you cannot take that kind of upbeat, peppy, bubbly music and put it in a film which is this dark in tone. It doesn't fucking work. Now, perhaps maybe on stage that sort of thing works. And Tim Burton could have easily tried to have made these songs a little bit darker by cutting out tons and tons of the higher sounding brass and higher sounding string and replacing it with lower with and basically just dropping the fucking like note or the key of each song down a huge way in order to match the dark tone of the film. And he did not do that, apparently because I'm just going to assume he wanted to stay with the, you know, songs as they were written by Sondheim, and that's fine. It certainly, though, doesn't work with the tone and the biggest problem with a whole lot of these songs is that they really are, is that there's no purpose for any of them to really be there. They seriously, guys, are just, they basically are like 4.5 to 5 minute ways of telling about 45 seconds of backstory. Or trying, or basically whinging on for 4 minutes and giving us the most shallow amount of depth you could give a character shy of not giving them anything. And that really is the problem, is that these songs, as should be the way with many musicals, the songs are supposed to help add depth to the character, and they are supposed to help further the story. And none of that happens here. Our songs are here specifically to pad out simply to pad out the story. Our characters are left almost almost insultingly shallow. And it's all because these songs are that poor at trying to tell a story. And the worst part, guys, about all of this is that if Tim Burton hadn't have opted to have worked with the musical and had just opted to do his own version of the fucking story, and he could just do his thing, I genuinely feel that this thing could have very well been one of Tim Burton's best, because it is the kind of story that Burton absolutely flourishes in. Burton is fantastic when telling dark stories. Unfortunately, when he is saddled with these god-awful songs, his style can only help so... It can only help so fucking much. And then these terrible songs, at least once more, terrible to me, are going to absolutely bring the movie down. And I totally understand that there are a lot of people out there who are really into Sondheim's musicals, and they love everything the man has ever made. And they have probably seen this movie, and they probably absolutely adore it. And that's totally cool, guys. Now, if there are people out there who really love this movie, awesome. Unfortunately, it didn't hit the right notes for me, and because of that, it really stands as probably one of the worst musicals I've covered in this series, because the songs do not fit the general tone of the film. And the songs are not helping to add depth to our characters, and the songs are not helping to further the story. And the songs are really just padding, and it's really terrible padding at that. Guys, I genuinely wanted this movie to be awesome, and unfortunately unfortunately for me, it wasn't. And because of that, I cannot recommend Sweeney Todd at all, unless you are a fan of Stephen Sondheim's musicals, or if you're an incredibly avid fan of everything that Tim Burton has ever made. Unless you fall into one of those two categories, there's no way there is very little chance you are going to enjoy this. The story ultimately comes off as very, very shallow because they were working with a stage musical, which was ultimately kind of shallow. I honestly was hoping for this to be good, and it was a massive letdown. I mean, because guys, once more, the acting here was awesome, and the sets were beautiful, and the lighting was awesome. The atmosphere was great. Everything here was perfect, and then the songs came in and shat on top of all of that, leaving us with a movie which leaves me feeling incredibly, incredibly empty. And that is really a fucking shame, because, again, this thing could have been amazing, and instead, it stands as probably one of the biggest letdowns I have ever had in this series. Now, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, came off the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in was Ariel, not a girl. Yeah, he still absolutely insists on that. Ariel, not a girl. And you can find his YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/prohibitthebastard. By all means, guys, swing over there, check it out. Ariel, dude, thank you. I was really curious about this movie. I genuinely was. I wanted it to be awesome, and unfortunately, the terrible songs absolutely killed any hope this thing had of being good for me. But I would not have known that if you hadn't sent it in, and for that I do thank you. Now, I'm kind of in the mood for some more fucking musicals, and I see my Blu-ray of Rock of Ages on my shelf. I'm going to go and watch that because that one probably stands as the best musical second best musical I've seen for this series. Because nothing will ever top Repo in terms of just awesome, badass musicals. I'm probably going to watch Repo after I'm done with Rock of Ages. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.